What's up, ladies and gentlemen? March 9th, a legendary time in history. Biggie Smalls, you know, one of the saddest days in history. One of the messed up parts about it is that we lost a tremendous.
Yes, background. Yes, background. And then behind it, we have our merch area. We have artwork to the left that was donated. Got it?
No, it is your boy Kiss, man. I just was honored to have a tour of the Biggie experience. It's incredible. They nailed it. I met Big like in the middle towards the end, but there's so much things there that I remember seeing and hearing and experiencing. The big experience is amazing. You gotta check it out. They did an excellent job, everybody involved. I commend you. Crushed it.
JM, VIG,
The CJ.
T-Dub.
listen, y'all, now and then it's going down. Shout out to Casey and who else?
Cello.
No, y'all need to set now and then. March 9th, y'all know what's going down. It's a BIG event, and y'all already know what it is. And all love, BIG.
We're gonna do our final of Biggie versus Jay-Z, and we're gonna close it out.
Okay, let's go.
Who you picking?
I have to go with Jay-Z.
There you go.
There you go.
I personally think he's the greatest. Biggie was something special. Make no mistake about it. Rapping about what he knows. Jay knows more. Jay's more seasoned.
That's
so
right.
he had more to say. Even though Biggie is spectacular, Nas is spectacular, Eminem is spectacular, LL, DMX, all of them spectacular. But there's only one Hove, bro.
It's only one.
There's only one Hove, and he has proven that through the test of time with everything he's done.
Take off the foo-foo, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi.
Running it down on these niggas. Sex, drugs, money, and murder, my nigga. You know how we did it, my nigga. Still be painting them bitches, my nigga. Ripping that roll, who fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never gon' hurt you. Niggas, they never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder.
Got the trap right, understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back. Knew I never seen none of nigga live like that. I was still getting stacks back. Had to fuck around getting them packs back.
Salute, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Bullis Gotti. March 9th, a legendary, sad time in history. The death of Notorious Big. I wanted to do this video. I wanted to talk about Biggie, where I want to say that Biggie's career was cut so short that you really didn't get to see the greatness of Big until his death. Life After Death is one of the greatest albums of all time. That's when you saw the greatest art. You saw the Big growing as an artist. You saw the growth of Biggie. Him dying at 25 at a young age, being slain, dying the way he did. I always believed that, you know, Big and Pac's murder was deeper than some gang shit. It was deeper than some revenge of record labels. It was deeper than that. I just don't think that those two brothers died off of the slaying of two rival gangs killing them. Crips and Bloods. It's deeper than that. You know, I do believe with Gene, shout out to Gene Deal, what he be saying all the time about that. It's more deeper than that. You know, they'll like to say death row, and then they'll say, well, you know, it's deeper than that. You know, it's deeper than that. Biggie, in my opinion, didn't get the growth. He grew. Don't get me wrong, he grew as an artist. But you didn't get to see more from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got cut short right there, right after Life After Death was done. You know what I'm saying? And he died before the release of his album, you know, and you got to see the greatness of him on the album No Way Out with songs like Victory, Young G's, You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people, when you look at Biggie legacy-wise, man, he was ahead of his time wordplay-wise. Him just certain things that he was saying back in them days, dudes wasn't saying yet. The slangs, the metaphors, the punchlines, the bars, the way he rolled the beat, especially when he slowed the flow down from the husky, deep voice flow, and then he slowed it down on niggas, and then he showed them like how he could be very, like the vernacular of his bars was like, he put them together like a jazz musician. And I always looked at Big, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people say Big is overrated. I don't think Biggie is overrated. I think that Biggie just didn't have time to grow as an artist. So I could never put him on a GOAT level. But I understand why people put him in a GOAT level, because of, if you look at that time and you just look at the greatness of Big's first album and then, you know, his second album, right? But I always say his second album is what made him the greatest. Because if you really look at 97, right? 97 was the year of Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? 96 was the year of Pac, you know, and then he shared the year with Nas. But 97 was the year of Bad Boy. It was the year of Mace. It was the year of Puff. And it was the year of Biggie, right? Biggie started them all first. Puff started off second. And then Mace closed it out with third, right? Now, all three of those albums were successful for Bad Boy. And they all got nominated. All three of them got nominated for a Grammy. Puff just won the Grammy in 98. But all three of those albums got nominated for a Grammy, right? So they had a dominant run with just that Biggie run in 9-7. It was just so dominant that you could not deny the greatness of Big, especially of his caliber and just the... If you really look at the Fortitude of the Life After Death album, look at the producers he had on there. He had Buck Wild. He had Premier. He had RZA. He had Havoc. He had the Hitmen. He had Clark Kent. He had Easy Mo B, KG, R. Kelly. Like, it was so many great producers on that album that you have to look at it and say, damn, man, this is one of the greatest bodies of work ever. You know what I'm saying? Hypnotize was the seller. You know, just that was the last record before he died. That was the last record they played in the club, was Hypnotize. Like, that was the biggest joint. You know what I'm saying? If you look at when he passed away, the record that they played, they constantly played that record. You know, when they went through the style, that record was ringing off. That was a huge record for Biggie. That was Biggie's comeback record. After not putting the album out for so long, after, you know, Ready to Die. But what I always tell people, right? The way Biggie was going from 97, if he would have lived, 99 would have probably been a good year for him. Because he probably would have dropped Born Again in 99. You know, Born Again would have been a crazy fire album. Just in the direction of where he was going with on the second album. Born Again would have been a dope album. But because, you know, he got murdered and then, you know, Biggie just didn't have that much body of work. Because if you really look at Pac, what Pac got over Big is that he got a lot of body of work. And Big just didn't have a extensive body of work. Yeah, he had a lot of records that he wrote for Puff. He wrote for C's. He wrote for Kim. But he didn't have the extensive body of work for himself. And even Junior Mafia he wrote it for, right? So when you look at Big's body of work and you just look at his whole, like, the realm of his music, you know, that's why I always say, Pac is the greatest. And it's nothing to take nothing away from, like I said, it's nothing to take away from Biggie. Nothing to take away from Biggie, because Biggie is tremendously one of the dopest rappers to ever touch a microphone. I don't care what nobody say. His punchlines is one of one. He's one of one when it comes to punchlines. He's an ill rapper. He spit that shit. You know what I'm saying? You say what you want about Big, but if you really look at Big and you really look at his content, he really, in my opinion, his delivery was one of the best. Just everything about him, you know what I'm saying, was just so great. And I think Puff was able to mold him in the right direction as a star, because I think Biggie would have never reached the heights that he reached if he wasn't with a Puff. Because Puff knew the type of sound that molded Biggie to when he became the greatest rapper. Because if you really look at it, right, Ready to Die only went gold. A lot of people don't realize that. It went gold. What sold the album to go platinum was the One More Chance remix, which was the biggest record, for the summer of 95. So that record really propelled Biggie, even though he had records like Juicy and Big Papa. But really, what really propelled him was that Stay With Me sample, the DeBarge sample that Big L had earlier, which One More Chance was like that record that really like took him to the heights of no return. And that's what sold that album to what it sold. You know, so I always looked at it like Big having the Puffy influence and having Puff, you know, really, because a lot of people like to down Puff, but Puffy was the great. I always say Puffy was the greatest minds. For Big, he made Big the star that he became. And then when you really look at it, Big just took it off from there. You know what I'm saying? He went off and got Junior Mafia, did his thing with them. Before if he didn't pass away, he had Charlie Baltimore, and then he had Cameron, and, you know, many others that he had. Capone, who was really down with them originally, was going to be down with Big. So he really was on a boss level of how his mind was thinking, and really his verses. You know, a lot of people don't understand a lot of those Jay-Z verses. I know y'all like Jay-Z, but if you listen to a lot of Jay-Z verses, listen to I Just Want to Love You. That's Biggie. When the Remy's in your system, ain't no telling will I fucking will I diss him. That's what they be yelling, I'm a pimp by blood. Come on, bro. Biggie verses was so hard and so fire back in 96, 97, because he spit that verse in 97, 96. So you could already see he was ahead of his time with that. And then when you got verses like, you know, we talking about verses like my favorite, I'm not gonna lie. You know, A Lime to a Lemon, a DC women sitting in Benjamins and condos and elevators in them, vehicles with televisions in them. Watch they entourage with yours, it's just mirages. This 69s and Mac Curries with cereal, Copperfield material. My dreams is vivid, work hard to live it. Come on, places I got land there, how can niggas stand there and say I sound like them? Hello, push wigs back and push 6 coupes that's yellow. Come on, bro. Like that right there. And lines like, it's hard to tell when the barrel's in your mouth. Bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to tell when the barrel's in your mouth. Like when he said that on Keep Your Hands High with Tracy Lee, like it's so much verses that nigga Biggie had. And we talking about his peak. In my opinion, I feel like Biggie's best peak in his career, like I would say like as a rapper, was that 95, 96, 94. He had the best verses. 96, I mean, not 94, really. I would say more 96, 90, 95, 96, 97. Biggie had the best quotable verses. You know what I'm saying? Freestyles, whatever. He had the best quotables. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say a lot of times when people talk about, you know, what Big brought to the game, Big brought a lot to the game. And there's a lot of people that really followed the Biggie Smalls blueprint. A lot of rappers. You know what I'm saying? He was an influenced rapper. He was very well influenced because you had a lot of Biggie Smalls prototypes. You know, a lot of Biggie Smalls prototypes. You know, you look at the Jada Kisses, you look at a lot of them. You know, they was, you know, I would say was, how you say, inspired by Biggie. You know, just like how people was inspired by Pac, a lot of people was inspired by Biggie. Biggie just had, you know, was so great at what he did as an artist, man. That's not that many artists. And that's why I can't really, you gotta respect it how they keep, how Puff and Kim and D-Rock, C Gutter, C's, you know, and Jada, Styles, and Sheik, they keep that man name alive. You know what I'm saying? Because Biggie was that guy. He was that one, man. He was that dude. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I say that was the saddest thing in the whole situation is that him and Pac didn't get to reconcile. You know what I'm saying? Because both of them brothers was talented. Both of them brothers was great. And both of them brothers did what it did. You know what I'm saying? And we all know what happened with that. That was all COINTELPRO. We know what that was. You know what I'm saying? That was COINTELPRO. Because both of them brothers didn't have no problems with each other. They was tight. But you know how the game go. You know how shit go. You know what they do. So, with that being said, man, you know, being at this 27 years, man, you know, we lost a great one in hip-hop, man. You know, how would the game be, you know, if Biggie or Pac was alive? You know, the game wouldn't be what it is. A lot of dudes wouldn't be rapping if them dudes was alive. Because if you really look at it, man, it was only a couple artists that was around that time that was really prevalent. You know, you had Nas, you had Pac, you had Big. That was the big three. Everybody want to say Jay-Z, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. No. It was Biggie, Nas, and Pac. That was the big three in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And whether people like it or not, Big was huge. But he just didn't have that much body of work. That's why I can't, like when you say GOAT, I can't put him in the GOAT. I can put him in legendary status because he is a legend. You know what I'm saying? And he's a great rapper. But when you say greatest of all time, it's like the body of work has to match. That's the only thing I got about Big is the body of work. But other than that, Life After Death is a classic. It's a classic. The greatest album. Next to All Eyes on Me, that's my favorite 2-disc album. It's All Eyes on Me. It's Wu-Tang Forever. It's Life After Death. Hold on, let me say it again. It's All Eyes on Me, Life After Death, and it's Wu-Tang Forever. Those are the big three great 2-disc albums ever in hip-hop history. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. And I play those 3 albums religiously to this day. Well produced. It's like a movie. It gives you different type of emotions. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to Life After Death, it gives you so many different type of emotions that you be like, damn, Big he giving you sad, he giving you depressed, he giving you happy, he giving you, I'm about to fuck a bitch. He's giving you in the club, popping bottles. He's giving you everything. All different type of emotions mixed in one. It's a big gumbo. So, you already know what it is. It's your boy Bullis Gotti, man.